Hi folks, welcome to Software Testing Hacks. In this video, we have Abhishek Patil along with me for mock interview. So let's get started. Hi Abhishek, welcome to mock interview.
Yeah, thank you, Akshata.
Yeah. So Abhishek, we'll start with your introduction. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I would like to thanks to giving me this opportunity in this platform. And so my name is Abhishek Patil, and I belongs to from Aurangabad, Maharashtra. And I'm right now I completed my bachelor's of engineering, and right now I'm looking for a job in a software testing. So for that purpose, I have learned many things such as in a software testing field, and try to learn also new things. So in that, I also learn manual testing, automation testing, SQL, API, and I also trying to learn right now in a REST assured like things. So in that, I also learned smoke testing, sanity testing, regression testing, and in also automation testing. I used to learn parallel testing, cross-browser testing, and I am get aware about the Agile Scrum methodology, and also I have used the go over the tool like Jira. And I also worked on one of the project which is like investment banking domain project. So this is brief about.
Okay, great. So we will start with manual testing questions first. Okay. So what do you understand by the term software testing and why do you think it is important?
Okay. So first time, whenever it is in layman, we can say whenever we use any software. So basically, when developer develops any software, as we need the quality, it is very important. Any product we can take, the quality is very important. So for that purpose, if you look at the developer develops the application, the software, don't he? I think he is on his mail we cannot able to test whole application in a detail as we can see because there is a development thing which is continuously integration continuous development is going on. So for that purpose testing is also very important as a development. So as the development, so if we look at the to maintain the quality and to give the good experience to the end user, which is the main motive of any software testing product software testing. So for that purpose, if any kind of application in day to day, we can use like a payment application or when we student filling any form or any important thing, we have looked that there is a something load in the application. It is taking load to load application. So at that thing, the performance testing is very important, comes into the picture. So these are the scenarios, some of the scenarios which is we have to look into that. So I think this is the most so that thing I used to choose the software testing as my field.
That's good. And so, what do you understand by SDLC model, and what are the different models that we have in SDLC?
Okay, so SDLC, it is nothing but the software development life cycle. It is the development cycle is going on. So in that, the BA is gathering all the information from the client which requires to develop the software system. So in that, after analyzing that requirements, BA prepares the SRS document. So which is nothing but the software requirement specification. So according to that requirements, BA used to prepare the SRS document. In that detail about the software requirements, functionality specification are mentioned, such as like a functional flow diagram, requirement of functionality requirements, and also there is a user stories and snapshots are present. The software system to be developed, and also there is a architecture, front end and back end design is also present, and also there is a development is also going on. So front end development, back end development is also there, and testing activity is also there in the black box testing and white box testing in the software development life cycle. So this is basic about it, and after that there is a deployment at the end in software development life cycle.
Yeah, and what are the different models that you know? Like we have some different SDLC models, right?
Okay, yeah. So the different models are such as like waterfall model, V model, and after that there is a yeah, so this is the fish model, yeah, which is the subsidiary of SDLC. Yeah. So these are two, three models. In waterfall model, it is the 3 months of a quarter. The change request is not accepted. It is accepted only in the next quarter. And it is like a flow. So it is called a waterfall model. And there is also V model. So in that, development phases are mapped with the testing phases. So the development and testing activity goes parallelly in V model. So it is also a very good model. And there is a fish model also. In that there is a verification and validation in main focus. So verification is a part of a, we can say, documentally all the verifications is going on, and validation, the software which is developed, we are going to validate that software.
Okay, between the waterfall model and V model, I mean, since you said that the flow, how it works, right? So which do you think is better, waterfall or V model?
Yeah, so as we see in V model, the development and testing activities go parallelly. When development starts, testing, planning, testing phases is also start, test case designing is also going on. But in waterfall model, after developing the software, the testing activities is going on. So it takes a little bit of time. Rather than V model is very, we can say in less time we can develop the software, also test the software. The testing activity is ready when the deployment is development team will send to the testing.
Okay. So there is a rapid application development model. Have you heard of it? RAD.
Uh, Ready. I just not heard about it, but I'm well aware about the agile scrum methodology.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, what do you think about agile methodology? I mean, how do you think it is advantageous over other models?
Yeah. So basically, in agile scrum methodology, if we look at that, there is a time span between 1 to 4 weeks. It is varies from organization to organization. So in that there is a sprint wise delivery. One to in between 4 weeks. Generally, it is 2 weeks. So in that there is biggest I can say advantage is like change request. Whenever the change request came from the client side, we have to priority that the change request. So first of all, we prioritize and look at the impact of that change request on the current build of the application, whether it is affecting the current build or not. But most probably it is accepted, and it will be implemented in the current sprint or upcoming sprint most possibly. So it is the best way to develop any software and deliver any software in a sprint wise delivery. So it is, I think it is the biggest advantage in Agile Scrum.
Yeah, and also from documentation perspective, also the documentation is less in agile, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, then what is test case? And suppose I have given you a screen which contains username and password and a submit button. Can you just write some of the test cases upon it?
Okay, so, username, password, and submit button.
Exactly.
Yes. So first of all, I can check the behavioral coverage, behavioral testing in that. So is that user able to click on that username box? After that clicking, he is able to type the some words or not. And after that behavioral coverage, I used to input domain testing. So input domain testing, I use boundary value analysis and equivalence class partition. So in boundary value analysis, username. So if there is a username which is between if there is between 4 to 8 characters or something like we can say equivalence class partitioning. So in that data type, whether it is numeric or string or anything else or mixture of both. So in that case, I used to put both the ways, and also in I use also negative testing in negative scenario. Also, if user puts in wrong, incorrect username, still he can able to log in. If there is he can log in, then also it is a negative test case, negative scenario we can say. Also same with the password field, both the boundary analysis and equivalence class partitioning I can check, and there is a decision table whether user put both username and password is correct, then he can log into the home page. if user put wrong password and wrong username, then he cannot log in. If still he log in, then it is a negative test case. Same with the submit button. I can check the BRL coverage with the submit button. Yeah, so this is basically I can go with this that
Yeah, good,
scenario.
good, good. Yeah, right. So, whenever we find any defect, right, what is the process? Like, what is the next step? Basically, what is the defect life cycle that it goes through?
Okay. So defect life cycle, whenever the tester, at the time of a testing, the defect is found. So at that time, tester used to raise that defect in a Jira. He used to proper description of a defect, first of all, and steps to reproduce that defect. And after that, there is a snapshot of that defect we can attach to that bug. And after developer have three choices after seeing that defect. If it is genuine or defect, then he can accept that defect. If he feels that the defect is not genuine, or we can say not genuine, he not able to reproduce, then he can remove it that defect or reject it that mark as a reject. Or sometimes if he feels the defect priority or severity is not high, he used to discuss with the scrum master or his team lead to fix that defect in upcoming sprint or next version of that application. So after that, developer fixes that defect. Tester can retest it whether the defect is fixed or not, and regression it whether the defect is impact fixed defect is impacting the other modules of the build is or not. And after checking all over through, tester will mark it as a close. So this is the basic bug life cycle.
Right, right. That is correct. And can you tell me what is the difference between error and then defect and failure?
Error, defect, and failure. Okay. So error is nothing but whenever the user making any mistake while using the application or software, at that time it show application shows the error from application side. And defect is nothing but whenever testing activities goes on, when tester finds any error in that application or activity which is not good for that application, so it is we called it as a defect. And failure is nothing but the application which is not able to run, so we can say it is a failure of the system.
Suppose, so you mentioned that error is something which user, could you please repeat what that you said?
Yeah. So error is nothing but when user using the application and he makes any mistake, such as like putting password and
Hmm.
it is incorrect password, or using that searching any field like which is
Hmm.
not valid. That time
Okay.
it shows error message.
Okay. Suppose there is any failure in the application that happens because of some external calamity or something which has, has made some failure on the application. So, what do you think can be done? So, from testing perspective, you just tell that what things can we do after that?
Can you just repeat when application failure system side?
Suppose say there is a payment. Okay, if I want to perform payment, I will go and choose a payee and I'll click on pay now. Okay, but at that time it is breaking. It is not happening because of any code error or something. It is happening because some server side error, something has happened. Okay, so what kind, or something crash has happened now. Okay, so what type of testing that you perform at that time?
Okay, so at that time if the application is okay, but it is a kind of a server side problem we can say. So also there is a lot of users are coming to the application, and application flow breaks, or at that time application used to not able to perform at that stage. uh, so I can say I can perform performance testing, or In server side, we can say there is a also API testing. We get the status code of that the server is breaking, or like 501 503, we get the status code like that. 503 server is not available, server is breaking. I'm
Uh,
just guessing.
s-
I don't know.
yeah. So I think the answer is recovery testing. Suppose there is something failure that has
Yeah,
happened. At
right.
that time, it is good to some crash has happened. At that time, we will perform recovery testing. How soon the application is able to recover from that disaster, right?
Okay, okay,
So
right.
yeah. So what is black box testing?
Okay. So black box testing is nothing but we check the all system and functionality testing of that build or application. In that, we tester check all positive as well as negative scenarios of that application in black box testing. And in black box testing, there is a we can say there is a no need to uh, again redevelop that application in white box testing. As we can see, the tester itself check developer itself check the application, and if there is any bug or anything like that, he can fix it on his own. But in black box testing, tester can send it to the developer uh, if there is any defect. So this is black box testing.
Is black box testing and functional testing are one and the same?
uh, yeah, in black box testing we check the functionality of the application, but not the same. In black box testing, there are also other testing activities also conducted in black box testing.
Okay. So yeah. So you have knowledge about Jira, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you just explain what things you know in Jira?
So in Jira, first of all, whenever the after writing the test cases in Excel, we have to import that test cases. So there is a functionality in Jira. We can import that test cases from Excel sheet by using that Jira. Also, we have if we found any defect in the test case, we can also assign it by using the Jira, and also take a follow up of that defect by using Jira. Where is the bug, and where it goes. And also there is a project management tool. By using for the purpose of a project management, we can also use the Jira as a tool. And so these are also there is a task called assign task. We have assigned task to, if there is any task assigned to me, uh,
Mm.
also we can see on that Jira tool.
So do you know anything about user story?
Yes.
What is
Can I
that?
explain?
Yeah.
So there is a first of all in grooming meeting. So in grooming meeting, we used to discuss about the requirements. Whatever the requirement comes from client, product owner used to just explain about it. What are the requirements? How we are going to develop it, and what are the functionality and what kind of application client needs. And in after that, there is a in sprint planning meeting. The number of requirements are included in a particular user story. So in number of requirements mentioned in the user story, so it is called which is assigned to the testers to test that user story. So according to that requirements, we have to identify the scenarios and write a number of test cases in a one requirement. So it is nothing but the collection of requirements in a box, which is called as user story.
Okay. It is basically collection of requirements, right? So in SQL, I'll just have a table which is like employee table. Okay. I want to update the name of a person whose ID is 101. So how do you do that? Can you just either share your screen and write the query, or however you're comfortable. If you want, if you can tell, you can tell that. Just want to
Okay.
update that particular name of the employee.
Okay, so in that case, select employee, select table name, where column name which is the column name, and yeah, select table name, uh, where column name is this, we can say employee name, and also there is where employee name, and update it like that. I just not able to recall right now.
Okay. So whenever you have update, right? How you
Yeah.
can write is update table and then set the value, whatever you want to set for which name. Suppose say that the field name is name. Name is equal to, let's say, testing hacks. Okay. Where the employee ID is 101. So update is important. So update table name and then set. You have to set
Okay.
it. Yeah, so that's how the syntax is. Just be, a little prepared with the SQL's basics.
So I just want to ask one thing. When we using SQL, there are different queries. Is there any different queries, Oracle or server, SQL server or SQL? It varies from platform to platform.
Yeah, little and all. It differs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to mention it where we I conduct the perform the SQL testing. So if there is a Oracle or SQL server, according to that, I can mention the query, SQL query.
So
Is it?
not major, like say, suppose say if I'm using MS SQL, okay, or MySQL, it is almost similar. It is almost similar. It is not major difference, a bit of difference. Suppose in some of them we use limit. Suppose in MySQL we use limit. Which MS SQL will not support like that. Certain the statements like DDL, DML statements, all that supports in the same way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so you have about API testing as well, right? REST and SOAP.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the major difference between REST API and SOAP API?
Okay. So in a SOAP API, we can say the XML file is required, a WSDL file is required, and in REST API, we can say there is URL or URI. We can use URL and URI for a testing purpose. And in SOAP, the output is in XML language, and in REST API, it is in a JSON format, or we can say any XML, HTML text language we can also use. And the response is very good in REST API. And it takes a little bit more time in SOAP API. Yeah, so this is basic. And it is best for CRUD operation in REST API. And we cannot use for CRUD operation. That is create, retrieve, update, delete.
Okay. So and can you just tell something about put request?
So input request, we have to update data in the database. So we can update the data by using put method.
Okay. Can you just explain me the inheritance concept in Java?
Inheritance. Okay. So inheritance, it is basically the OOPS principle. OOPS principle. So in inheritance, one object, one class acquires the property of another class. That is, subclass acquires the property of superclass by using extends keywords. So there are multiple types of inheritance, such as uh, single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple level inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. So in single level inheritance, uh, there are only two classes required. One class acquires the property of another class. And in multi-level inheritance, one subclass acquires the property of another superclass, and that superclass acquires the property of another superclass. And the phenomenon goes on. And in a multiple level inheritance. So Java does not support multiple level inheritance because the diamond ambiguity problem. So it is because one subclass acquires the property of a two superclass. So does not support. For that purpose, we need interface and implementation class. And in hierarchical inheritance, multiple subclasses acquires the property of one superclass.
Okay. So you said that Java doesn't support multiple inheritance. So to overcome that, is there any alternative in Java?
Yeah, as I say, there is an interface. So by
Right.
using interface, you can achieve the multiple level inheritance.
Okay. So can you explain something about static keyword in Java?
Okay, static keyword like it is for that particular class, we can say also, and static method. If we give static as a keyword, then we it is for we can say local level or for that particular class by using that method or that keyword. Yeah, just I'm not able to recall. Can you tell me about help me?
Yeah, so for we can use the static keyword along with class or variable, or else even with method, or even you can create a static block. But the thing is, whenever we have static behind a variable or a method or a block, we need not to create the object of that particular class to access those members, basically.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
So
directly.
yeah, yeah, directly we can without creating the object of the class, we can directly access those uh, variable or method directly. So yeah, that is static in Java.
And
Mm.
if you want to call that member of that class from another class, then we have to use of that class. Okay, object of that class
Yeah, correct.
for
We
that.
can just directly access using the class name dot whatever we want to access. Suppose test is
Okay,
the class name. So just give test, and then if my variable is like int a, if I want to access int a, then test dot a. So this will perfectly work fine without even creating the object.
okay. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
So yeah. Coming to the automation, like what all test cases do you think we can automate?
Okay, all test cases at the same time.
All test cases. So can we automate all test cases? Like suppose I have got a new build now. Okay. Can we automate that? I have got fresh new build.
Okay.
So the application is not yet, been manually tested. Can I just go ahead and automate that?
I think it needs to be stable first of all. The
Hmm.
application building must be stable, and after
Hmm.
that we can automate that build.
Okay. So anything else do you think? What type of test cases we generally automate? Suppose there is a short-term project that which has come. Can we automate those test cases?
Uh, yeah, we can automate those test cases also.
Hmm.
But yeah, do you want that at which technique we can automate? You need technique about.
Technique in the sense, see, so what my question was, see, whenever we get a new build, until the application is stable, we will not start the automation testing. And suppose if I want to execute certain test cases repeatedly, which is a regression test case, at that time we will go for automation. And also we can automate smoke tests.
Yes, yes, yes. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is what. Okay. Can you just give me a syntax to write CSS selector? Like
Yes, yes, yes.
class and ID, how do you generally uh, write CSS selector for that?
Yeah. So I just not use CSS selector. Mostly use XPath as a double forward slash ID tag name ID attribute name attribute value like that. And yeah, mostly use that. Not use still CSS selector.
But just the syntax I want.
CSS selector. Yeah, I'm not able to get it.
Okay. If you want to access a class at that time, we can use tag name dot class name. If I want to, use with ID, then tag name hash ID, whatever the ID which is present. So that combination we can use for CSS selector.
Two
Okay.
ways we can.
Yeah. So then what is WebDriver in Selenium?
Okay. So WebDriver in Selenium, we can say WebDriver is like a architecture. By using WebDriver, we can automate different by using a WebDriver object. We can by referring a WebDriver object, we can run the application multiple browsers such as like Chrome, IE, uh, Edge, Microsoft Edge, or Firefox by using that. And also there are different kind of methods in WebDrivers, such as like a send keys clear method, and also there is a we can say to finding or to locate the element on a web page. We can use a WebDriver also uh, by using driver.find elements. Uh,
Hmm.
Also, yeah, and by class.
Okay. So what is the difference between find element method and find elements?
Okay, so find element is nothing but when we want to any single or particular element to locate on the web page, at that time we use a find element method. And to if there is a multiple matching elements on a by same name, at that time we use a find elements method. Multiple if you want to get multiple elements, locate multiple elements on web page.
Okay. So then what is the difference between driver.close and driver.quit?
Okay, so driver dot close is nothing but to close the current window or particular window, and in driver dot quit can quit all the windows which
All
is
the window
open.
sense in the sense how?
Uh, Driver dot quit. If we use driver dot quit, they can it can no. Yeah, it's little bit of confusion, I think. Yeah.
Suppose the browser has started automation. I mean, it has started running. Now there is some link. On click of that, a new tab will open. So okay, so now if I just use driver.close at that time, it will close only the one window which is currently it is on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but if we use driver.quit, it will close two of the tabs as well. Like it will quit
Yes.
directly. So yeah,
Yes.
okay. So yeah, I think we have almost covered all the topics that you have knowledge on. So yeah, so that's all we have, and I think you have to practice little on Java and then SQL. Manual part is good. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah. So thank
Yeah.
you, Abhishek, for joining. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for providing this opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.